Hello, this is Anton Zimin and welcome to my channel. Today I will tell you how you can achieve this kind of filmic Alexa look with your Sigma FP footage. Sorry, it's a bit late, but here is a tutorial that I promised to do for you a while ago. I use a power grade and LUT in this tutorial that you can download on the link in the description below. It costs few bucks, sorry, I've spent some time doing this tutorial and anyway I will use this money just to make my channel better for you. So let's start. I will switch off all the nodes. Let's first see what's happening in the RAW tab. I've shot everything in CinemaDNG RAW ISO 100. I've set color space and gamma to Blackmagic design. I didn't use a highlight recovery tool since I don't have any highlights clipped. I've set the custom white balance and raised the exposure by 2.5 stops. Also, I've raised shadows just a little bit. I didn't touch the sharpness since I've missed focus and it is already very soft. I've been using a camera screen to focus because my old focus monitor was too dim for the strong sunset light. Trying to achieve Alexa look, I've decided to work in the Alexa color space. I used the Color Transform plugin to transform Blackmagic design color space and gamma into Alexa. Then I use LUT that I've created to transform a Sigma version of Alexa Lock C to Rec 709 to make it look more Alexish. This node adds some color. I have here all the channels set to maximum, and in the Node K tab you can change the value of the saturation by changing the K output parameter, which is set here to 0.2. Then let's look at these nodes. The first one is an adjustments node, where you can do your preferable adjustments, and here I work mostly with highlights. The idea is that when you shoot on a digital camera, not Alexa, you have a very strong contrast between highlights and darker parts. My goal here is to soften it, to give it a more filmic look. I also bring sky a bit down. Same, you can use the wheels to adjust your image. For example, I just brought mid-tones a bit down, and that's it here. I have blacks here, I prefer to work with blacks separately. I've brought it a bit down. Then I work with colors of details, like here is a hoop, which is too magenta to my taste, and I've made it warmer by clicking on it with the dropper and changing its tone in hue versus hue curves. Here you can work with your object's colors. I didn't have a pro lighting tools on the set, so I used this soft sun node to work with midtones and soften the sun harsh light as if it was shot with a diffusion. Good trick, by the way. The next node is just adding some contrast in blacks. This node has a glow effect applied to create a nice mist kind of filter look. The glow effect gives you a lot of control. You can see and adjust your shiny regions. For example, shadows definitely shouldn't glow, so you can always catch shadows from glowing. You have a glow alone option. Let's switch back to the glowing image. Here I switch to the screen. It is set to add as default. And you can also control the opacity of the effect or blend. I also usually use a skin glow separately to soften the skin highlights a bit more. It mostly affects this area between highlights and midtones. What we can do in addition here is to create another glow node. Set the spread to 0 and shine threshold to 0.051. And change the composite type to soft light and set blending to 0.8. Look at this. Here you can do final adjustments. As an example, I lowered the saturation of cyans to make the sky less saturated, same as yellows. You can see some noise on the face. Let's switch on the noise reduction node. Now it's much better, but I'm missing some film grain. Let's switch on the grain node. I usually set texture and grain size so that the grain becomes visible, but not too much. You can also try some presets here, like 16mm archival. Hope you can see it on YouTube. If not, then you always can try it yourself. Well, great! Hope you liked the video. If so, please subscribe to see more content like this or write me what I've done wrong. Thank you for watching, bye, and see you in the next video.